Hey everyone, MasterAbbott here from capsulecomputers.com.au. Today we're going to be bringing you a game. I'm just going to walk you through a game called Face Noir. As you saw before, Mad Organge and Phoenix Online Studios. What I'm going to be doing is just taking you through the first chapter so you can get a good feel of the game, the way it is, what it is. Basically, it's a point and click adventure game. So what I'm going to do, we'll start straight from the beginning, so you'll see pretty much a lot of the mechanics, what you need to do, a lot of the easy stuff, and everything that is involved within the game. So I'll just click on start, let the introduction run through. Jack Del Nero is the main character that you play in the game. You also get to play a little bit of Sean McLean. And Emily is a love interest, if you want to call it, as well as... oh no, Emily is not the love interest, Greta is a love interest. Got all the other characters here. These are the people that are part of the game. These are characters in the game. And these are the people that made it. Alright, so watch the intro.
Greta, I have to stop that plane from leaving.
What are you going to do?
I don't know yet. You get the car. It's hidden in the trees near the entrance. The keys are on the dash.
Okay.
Keep the engine running. We need to leave as soon as I get the girl.
Jack,
Yes?
be careful.
There's no time to be careful. Not this time. Greta, go!
So Jack runs off. This is actually part of the game. This part of the game is actually
Damn
right
it,
at the
Sonny.
end.
It's too late.
It looks like you're too late, Del Nero.
What are you doing here? Why aren't you on that plane?
I hate traveling. I'm not the kind of guy who crosses the desert on a camel. I prefer the comfort of the big city. Moreover, had I left, I would have missed the chance to deal with you. You made me look ridiculous in the eyes of the organization, and I don't have any intention of letting you get away with it.
And what do you want to do? Kill me? I can see it on your face that you've never shot anyone. You're not that kind of guy. You send your men to do your dirty work.
You're right. I've never shot anyone, even though many men and women died because I ordered it.
How brave.
But you know, there's a first time for everything. It was destiny, Del Nero.
Destiny. So that's the beginning. So now it takes us back 24
It had to be
hours.
a little past 4 in the afternoon. I had just lit one of the many cigarettes that fill my days with no clients, when a middle-aged guy comes into my office with 2 caterpillars for eyebrows and a cigar hanging from his mouth. He introduces himself as Harvey Weber, the owner of Weber Company, a meat house in Larchmont. After 10 minutes of pointless chatter about his job, he gives me a photograph. Susan Weber, 20 years old, Harvey's stepdaughter. He tells me all about her carefree lifestyle, her dreams of becoming an actress, and how she hasn't come home in weeks. But how he keeps getting bills for clothes, shoes, and other things that might catch the eye of a 20-year-old girl with a well-heeled old man. Harvey, because of his divorce agreement with his ex-wife, is responsible for supporting the girl until she turns 21. So the kid decides to take advantage of her old man while she can and spend as much as possible until she turns 21. But Harvey Weber isn't one to sit on his hands, and he got his attorneys on the case. They think that if Susan were caught having an affair that her old man wouldn't know of, they could bring the evidence to court and get her cut off. Just one photograph would do it, according to Harvey. I take the job. I'll get him that photograph. The whole thing will cost him $30 a day, plus expenses, paid in advance. Harvey gives me a check for $30 and leaves my office. I cash the check, toss down something that can be called a dinner, and I'm already in Harlem. A few dollars got me a tip that Harvey Weber's kid might be around here, at the Last Heaven Hotel, to be precise.
So that pretty much starts the intro.
According to the information that I have, a few days ago, some blondie went on a shopping spree here in Harlem. In this neighborhood, if you have money to spend on clothes and jewelry, it's easy to get noticed. I even managed to find out that the girl was seen entering the Last Heaven Hotel. I'd better ask a few questions.
Alrighty, so that's pretty much how it starts. So you've seen that Del Nero is a private detective. He's just so this section of the game, especially like I said at the beginning of the game, you have to find this girl and take the photograph as proof, bring it back to the old man, so you know he can do what he can. So as you can see, Del Nero is down there. Now this is basically set in the early 1930s, 40s, around that time. So it's a whole lot of old and noir feel, if you want to say. It's very, very nice. The entire game runs through in this rainy old, what do you want to call it, feel of very nostalgic, if you want to call it. Alright, so pretty much down the bottom, that's where Del Nero is. You can see you can click a point and go anywhere you want. When you move over certain things, an eye appears, or you can right click and do actions with the action button, if you want to call it, action dialogue. So certain things appear when you move your mouse over certain places, like you got your car, got a picture on, you got a poster on the wall, you've got billboard, you've got the Last Haven Hotel, which is the one we were supposed to be going into. Now the way it works as well is you've got inventory. Inventory, if you move the mouse up at the top, this is the old style inventory, as they want to call it. And if you want, you can change it. So for example, we can go into the main menu and select options and select the Detective 3D style. So basically by selecting that, you have a whole lot of different ways of selecting your inventory. So by doing that, we'll just show you what it looks like that way. So I'll confirm that, resume back. Alright, so inventory, I've just done the scroll with my mouse and it's brought up, you can see the inventory up on the left hand side, top left hand side. So this is Jack Del Nero's detective card. If I click on it, he'll complain about it being $30 and a waste of money.
My investigator's license. $20, a damn questionnaire, and anyone who wants to can stick their nose in your business.
Oops, it was $20, not $30. So yep, so that's basically that. So you can scroll down and check all his other inventory. So this is a little bit, I know it looks cool. This is Jack's lockpicking kit. You'll see a lot of that. You actually use a lot of that within the game, and you'll see that in the first intro, if you want to call it, the chapter of this game. And I'll show you how to use it. So pretty much the 3D inventory is good, but it takes a little bit longer to actually to play with and use and interact. So by scrolling, you can see it, like I said, do everything. You can right click and do the same thing. But I personally like using the standard 2D direct inventory, so I'm going to jump back and use the classic 2D. I'll confirm that, go back and go back into the resume. So as you can see, it's easier for me. Like I said, I feel it's a little bit easier, and you can see it that way. You can just click and select and do what you need to do. Now for people who have problems with the point and click adventure games, what Mad Organge and Phoenix Online have done, have made it really simple. So as you can see right now, you pretty much have to figure out, okay, there's something here, or there's something here, there's something changes to an eye, oh, something here changes to an eye, something changes to an eye. So you can do all, you can see all these different things, and of course if you click on them, Del Nero will talk about it and stuff. And if you don't know what to do, and if you think you get stuck, what you can do is you can mouse over and move and click on that button there with a little question mark, and everything, if you look very quickly on what I'm clicking on it, things will point up in orange. Little circles will appear in orange, meaning that all those little things that I've just clicked on are hints that you can click on to help you go to specific places or look at the specific things. So for example, basically if I clicked on that again, you'll see that this opened up, the picture opened up, that a trash can opened up, and that thing and over there, that's to go into another area. So for example, let's go, we'll continue on and I'll show you pretty much what's going on from here.
It looks like not even the shiny world of show business has managed to escape the grasp of the Great Depression. The Second Life of Miss Gray, a film by Howard Paul, starring Vivian Leight. Vivian Leight, that's the same name that Harvey Weber gave me. From what he told me, his daughter greatly admires that actress.
Alright, so when I just clicked on that, there was a hint. Now, a hint, if you heard the music change slightly, it went... You hear like a little funny tone. When you hear the tones like that, pretty much what happens is you've got a hint which will, Del Nero will remember, and you'll see that down the track when certain things happen, when he's got to use his memory to put pieces together when he investigates stuff. So that is our little hint. So he can continue looking. As you can see, he can talk. He'll be able to talk about the
Athena Theater. I've heard about it. I believe it's considered to be like a temple for black music. A temple that only whites can go to, of course. Fat Tommy's Laundry. Like the fact that some fat guy is washing my clothes is going to make me feel more certain of the results.
Alright, so there are a few things. You can click on pretty much anything if you want. You can walk into different areas, but what we're going to do is we'll investigate this.
Last Heaven Hotel. A curious name for a hotel in Harlem. From the information that I got, this is where Harvey Weber's stepdaughter is.
Alright, so that's where he thinks he is. That's where someone told him he is. So we'll make our way inside. We'll arrow point and click, we'll walk inside. Alright, so we're inside the hotel. Now, same thing happens as well. So if you want to click and you get stuck, you can click on everything and you can see there's a few different things that you can check out, like the bin, photo
There are
frame.
photographs of black musicians hanging everywhere. Probably jazz players.
And a trash can. You've got the exit going back out that way. You've got a door. You've got something here. Go check this out now. It's candy.
There are some candies in this bowl.
So if we want to pick up something, we can just pretty much right click and the hand appears. Or go back to that to have a look at it. So right clicking on the hand.
You shouldn't take those candies. They've been there for years.
I'll take my chances. I've put worse in my stomach. I'll keep it with me. There's no way I'm eating it, since I'd like to avoid getting dysentery.
Alrighty, so he picked up a candy. What's he going to do with the candy? We don't know yet. But as you can see in the inventory, it's appeared up the top. So pretty much anything. The only other things we can do now would be he can't really go upstairs because he doesn't know where the room is. So he would have the best thing to do would be to start investigating the clerk, or the or the receptionist or the owner. So we'll go talk to him now.
Sitting down and reading the newspaper. I should have been a reception clerk. I would have certainly been healthier.
Alrighty, so we'll talk to him now. This guy's the owner.
Hi, do you own this place?
Well, depends on who wants to know.
Alright, so you got questions here. You got 3 different things you can ask, and there's no sub-menus that appear, so you don't really have any choice apart from no hints. So you just got to talk to the guy, ask him questions. So we can start from the first one.
I'm a friend of one of your guests.
The last guy who introduced himself as such destroyed a room for a thing about lovers. So pardon me if I'm a little wary of friends of my guests.
Alright, so that was probably the wrong thing to say. You can say police, but we'll go with private detective.
I'm a private detective.
A private detective. I guess someone has gotten himself in trouble.
More or less. It's about a girl.
A girl, you say? There are a lot of them here. And for a few bucks, they can give you a night that will stay in your memories for a long, long time.
She's not a prostitute. Susan Weber. White, medium frame, blonde hair, 20 years, and pretty enough to cause her some troubles. Have you seen her?
Well, I'm sorry, but I'm not used to giving out information about my guests to the first person who happens by. People come here to have a place where no one can find them, and not just for a place where to sleep. And I try to help them with that as much as I can.
So from here you can keep on investigating and asking him questions. So of course we want to keep on asking questions. We're just going to move on to the next question. You can say, come on.
Come on, don't make a fuss. Tell me where I can find Ms. Weber.
Sorry, but you won't get anywhere by being pushy.
Ask him the next question. This one here makes him feel a little bit, you know, opens up a little bit.
You must have a good imagination to call this hotel Last Heaven.
No fantasies or sentimentalities. They're not for me. At least not anymore. This hotel belonged to my brother, Louis Fitzgerald Heaven. There were 9 of us, and he was the youngest. And that's why people called him the Last Heaven. When he bought the hotel, he didn't have any doubts about what to call it. At that time, this place was falling apart, but Louis was sure he could turn it into a good hotel, and he made it.
How come it's you running it now?
My brother can't take care of it anymore. In October 1926, some redneck who missed the good old days of slavery refused to pay his 3-day rent for the room. He said that he would have never given money to a Negro. And when my brother threatened to call the police, the guy pulled out a gun and pulled the trigger. Shot him in the guts. My brother died almost immediately. Even though he was small, he never let anyone to push him around. And what we all thought of as a quality eventually turned out to be what killed him. And the hotel stayed closed for years, and it was I who reopened it 5 years later, but without my brother, it wasn't the same hotel anymore.
Did the police get the killer?
Well, you already know the answer. One day, great men will be able to change how things are, and there won't be any more hatred between blacks and whites.
Nowadays, they name streets in New York after these great men. And when that happens, it means they didn't meet with a happy ending.
Okay, so as you can see, he wants to find some more information. So even if I ask him about, tell me where I can find the girl, it'll go back in circles, and that's the same question. So if I went back
Tell
to this
me
one,
where I can find the girl.
I've already told you that you won't get anywhere in this way.
Alright, so pretty much he's not getting anywhere with this. So there's nothing you can do. So you just have to say goodbye.
Forget about it.
Whatever you want.
This job probably doesn't pay too much. I'm sure that with a little encouragement, he would tell me more.
Alright, so as you can see that he's thinking to himself just there, so he's saying, well, what can I do to keep this, you know, get this guy to talk? So, as you probably would in many games, and probably in real life or in movies, you can see that you've got a bit of money there, so we can bribe him. Clicking on that, that turns, see how the cursor is not like a normal color, and then we move it over there, it turns orange. By doing that, that means that there's a possibility that this could work. So if we click on that right now,
$10 should be more than enough for some information. These might make you change your mind.
Money to buy information? That must be one important girl you're looking for.
Enough for someone to hire me.
You know, lately, a lot of people like you have come by. They ask questions, look for people. Once, this hotel was considered one of the best in Harlem. Now it's become a shelter for criminals, easy women, and people who are running away from something. All it took was a couple of years of recession to turn New York into a cesspool. I wonder where this city's going to end up.
Where it always has. Nowhere.
You're always headed somewhere. Good or bad, you always have a direction. The day that New York will be rotten through and through, that will be the day that the good God himself will come down to crush it.
Don't count on that. I know people in this city who would manage to bribe your good God with a couple of well-aimed compliments.
Son, I guess you're not a believer.
I believe in whiskey, and in all those things that I can explain in a day.
Well, without faith, it's impossible to survive in this city. Everyone needs something to believe in.
Probably I just don't have anything worth believing in yet. Anyway, let's end this catechism lesson, and tell me where I can find the girl.
You said her name is Susan Weber?
Susan Weber, with 2 B's.
Susan Weber. Oh, you gave me money in exchange for information, but who says that I have any?
Dannazione, you must have a list with the names of your guests.
As I told you earlier, this hotel is a place where half the tenants are poor devils trying to get away from something. They usually don't give their real names. 100 John Smiths, a dozen George Washingtons, even a couple of Charlie Chaplins passed through this hotel.
So there is no room under the name Susan Weber?
That's right, son. I'm sorry, but I can't help you. If you want, you can take your money back.
Keep it. I'm sure it'll come in handy.
So as you can see there, we heard a little hint, music playing again. So now what we can do is, well, there's no one there by that name. So we'll ask him again.
Son, what else can I do for you?
Alright, so what normally happens is you can keep on asking the same questions again, but sometimes in a conversation like this, when you're speaking to people, or if you're thinking about something, a blue question appears, which is a new question, which is the question that you hopefully will be able to join your memory, if you want to call it, puzzle pieces that you've picked up by talking to people or by listening or picking up information outside and putting it together and asking this guy a question. So for example, he's got a question, so
I have a question for you.
Tell me.
Alright, so here pretty much was basically what I was explaining to you before. You can use your head. So this is the information that you've collected during the investigation and all that sort of stuff. You have two pieces of information that you need to connect. By connecting the two pieces of information, you'll be able to further your investigation. So so you have to pretty much what they're pretty much saying here is remember that you have to find a connection between the two pieces of information. And if you haven't done that, you have to keep on looking. So there's a possibility I was actually stuck at one point in the game where I didn't do one thing and I had to go back and find out before I was able to do it. So the game doesn't lock you out completely, but it makes you go back and check to see what you've got to do in certain parts of the game to take advantage of it and move forward. So as you can see here, this is his memory and he's thinking. There's not much here because the game's just started, but as you can see here, you've got a few different things. You've got Susan's passion. And if you can see down the bottom, Susan Weber's old man claims that his daughter greatly admires the actress Vivian Leigh. Here is the guests of the Last Haven Hotel make a habit of leaving not their real names. And then we've got a blonde in Harlem. A wealthy blonde has been taken, has been seen in Last Haven Hotel. And it's being and it could have been Susan Weber. So pretty much, you've got to think about it. What could it be? This one here doesn't seem like it's the correct one. So you could just probably start off with blonde, and her passion, and she likes and admires Vivian Leigh. So let's put them together and see what happens.
It doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense. So as you can see, that doesn't work. So if we wanted to do Susan's passion with Vivian Leigh and the hotel guest,
Is there a woman called Late among your guests?
Late, yes, and she matches your description. White, young, and blonde. Is she the woman you're looking for?
Yes. What room is she in?
Room 313, third floor, end of the hallway.
Thanks.
that's it. So I put the first one wrong on purpose just to see what happens. When you don't connect the right things together, it just pretty much says no, it doesn't make sense. When you put them together, you get a correct dialogue, and then you'll be able to move forward. So as you can see now, we don't have any more questions. We don't need to ask him any more questions. He's giving us the information. She's in room 303, and we
I don't have
can
anything
leave.
else to ask you.
Well, if you need me, I'm here.
All right. So that takes us out. So we don't have to talk to him anymore. We've done everything we need to, so we can go upstairs now. So this is the third floor. All the different floors, as I said, basically, if you want, we can click on the select and we can check here. All the different things that you can see, but you can see it was 313, and that looks like 313, but it seems like the 3 is upside down. That can get a little bit confusing. So let's go check out 313.
Room 313. It's Susan Weber's room.
Alright, so we can't really open the door, but let's have a look inside or listen.
I've finally gotten away from my clod of a stepfather. I couldn't take it anymore. He thought I should spend my entire life behind the counter of a butcher shop. I'm an actress. I was born to act in movies. Big productions. Isn't that right, Teddy Bear?
Of course, baby. I'll make you the biggest star in Hollywood.
Yes, Howard. With you, I'll be the next Vivian Leigh. Actually, you'll make me even more famous than her. You'll give me her parts and I'll exceed her. I'll be the number one. Right, teddy bear? Right?
And here's our Susan. I'll take a few pictures of her with her teddy bear, and tomorrow morning I'll give them to Harvey Weber. This way I'll get the rest of my money.
Okay, so we really can't do nothing from here. We have to do a sneak. We have to take photographs from the outside. So by doing that, we can do a few things inside this room to start with, if we're allowed. Otherwise, we'll probably have to trigger a few other things. Now, as you can see, there is stuff on the ground. There's stuff all over the place. This is another thing that's very important, and that is there's a newspaper on the desk here.
It's today's newspaper.
So what Don Nero can do is you can actually read the newspaper, and by reading the newspaper he gets hints as well, and remembers things to help him with his investigation. So as you can see, there are a few different headings. Moving the cursor off, and you can see that there's 3 different pieces of news. I'll just do one for example.
Even though companies keep shutting down, the newspapers are saying the worst is behind us. I wonder who it helps if people believe it.
So you don't have to kind of, it's not like if you miss this newspaper, you'll be able to read another one down the like in another location. So just in case, there are newspapers everywhere that help you if you've missed it now or you can't be bothered doing it. I would just say it's worth doing at least one of each little tabloid article, so it does help you. For now we don't need to do it, but just be sure to read all the pieces of information that's on the newspaper. You don't get to keep them. They stay back on wherever you've seen them. All right. So there's also something on the wall here.
There's a little panel here.
I wonder what this little panel does. Alright, so basically once again here you're in control, where you have full control of the situation, where you can use the mouse and move stuff around. You can click with the left and then right click and do specific things, and it's just like a little bit of an action section where you can open doors, open things, move things around. So pretty much what I'll do is we'll show you in action. So you can click, right click, and then right click, right click, right click, right click, right click, and it kind of jams it open or rips it open sort of thing. And then by ripping it open I just left click, and then with the just moving it to the right like that, it opened the door. So as you can see, this is the thermostat for the apartments. So what we're doing at the moment is we're just gonna make the room a little bit hot. So they might have to open a window so we can take a clear shot of them from the balcony on the other side, which you'll see very soon. So 313 is the room that they're in, so how about we lift up the thermostat up, maybe to max. Looks good, it's fully maxed, I'm happy with that. And now if you like we can close it again, and we can leave. So, I'm not sure if they say anything, but let's have a quick listen to them again. You might not.
I've heard enough. Harvey Weber paid me to get him some proof of his stepdaughter's love affair. All I have to do now is to get a picture of Susan while she's in the arms of her teddy bear, Howard. The apartment should have a window.
Alright, so that's what we're going to do now. See, now we turn the thermostat on full, they're going to feel pretty hot in the room. And so we'll be able to take a photo from downstairs, from upstairs across the other balcony. Alright, so we can go back downstairs now. Make our way outside. Alright, so back outside, we got a few different things. We can go up the road, but that's not going to take us anywhere. But we can go into the back alley.
It's hot as hell in this room. One day it's cold, the next one it's hot. Tomorrow, I'm gonna give an earful to the owner of this crappy room. You don't treat a future movie star this way.
Good. That must be our Susan's room. Now I have to find a way to open that gate.
Alright, so by turning on the thermostat, pretty much the window, they open the window, so now we can take advantage of it. Here is a gate, it's locked.
A gate. The cheapest way to keep away the bums from the dumpsters at the end of the alley.
Alright, so let's take advantage of our toolkit, our lock-picking kit.
I knew that it was a good idea to bring them with me.
Alright, so the way this one works is very interesting. It's not very complicated, but it's really, really good mechanic for lockpicking. It's probably one of the best ones I've seen in any style game, really, to tell you the truth. It's not too complicated. It actually does make sense. As you can see here, the movement's actually giving you the solution. As you can see, you move it left and right slowly until you hear a click, as you say here, and then you move it back and hear another click, and then you move it back the other way and hear until another click. So pretty much it's going back, then forward, and then back, or if you want to call it forward, back, forward, and that will open up. It's just like you're jiggling the lock within the tumbler. And that will pretty much unlock the door. So we'll see it in action. I'll do it as well. You hear the little clicks. It's the most important thing. You have to hear click, click, click. Sometimes you've got to do them about 3 or 4 times, and the door unlocks. So here we go now. Put the mouse over. What happens is after a certain amount of time, the lock resets. So you got to do it fairly quickly, but not too fast, because otherwise you can't hear the click. There's one. There's 2. There's 3. Now if it gets too complicated, you can see in the bottom left hand corner there was a skip. Doesn't, you know, if you can't be stuck doing it, you could just like skip it. Alright, so pretty much this is the back alley. Gotta make it to the top here, but it's a bit high up at the moment.
That ladder could be useful.
Alright, so how are we going to get up there? So this is like a little bit of a puzzle. So we got a dumpster over here.
A dumpster, the kind that has wheels on the bottom so that you can move it. There's a break here. The street is probably downhill a little, so if I unlocked it, the dumpster would roll all the way down to the road.
We don't want to unlock it yet because it will roll all the way down to the road. So let's have a look to see. There are some certain things on the ground over here. I think there's something important in this little corner.
There are some metal bars on the ground.
Perfect. Let's pick one up.
Yes, I'll take one. This bar could be helpful.
Alright. So we got a bar. Let's take that bar, and seeing that it's rolling, we could roll it probably, as you can see, it's going to be rolling there. We've got to try and stop the roll. So that's how we throw it into this grate here.
Let's try.
Good fit. So now let's unlock the brake.
Yes, it could work.
Fantastic. So now we can jump on top of that and get to the stairs.
It's too high for me to use it.
So, my bad. Just go from here.
Okay.
Alrighty, so he's up the top now. So from here, what he can do is he can select his camera because he's got to take a photo, point it towards the window, and we'll see a cutscene.
Now's the time to earn my 30 bucks.
Move the camera around until it's possibly ready, and then once it's ready, we can wait for a certain point, but if you want, we can just click on it right now.
Good. This shot will work just fine.
Just have to wait for them to kiss.
A photo of the stepdaughter necking with the first guy that promises to make her a star. This should be enough for Harvey Weber to get his lawyers involved, and it's definitely enough for me to get out of here.
Job's done now, but now we need to make our way out. Alrighty, so we can make our way back out. Our job is pretty much done. So we can get out and make our way to the car and drive away. Hopefully there isn't any problem with the car.
I open the door and jump into the car, ignoring how the seats are getting soaked with my wet clothes. It's water. It'll dry sooner or later. I put the key in the ignition and start the engine. But something isn't working. The gas gauge is on E. The tank must be empty. Following a lead on a case and forgetting to fill up the tank. It's a rookie's mistake. Or maybe the mistake of someone who's simply starting to get sick of this life. I'll have to find another way to get out of here.
Del Nero always forgets to put petrol in the car. Alright, well pretty much he's gonna have to make another way, make his way out somewhere, somehow. So maybe, you know, we can get a taxi home. So we'll go back inside the hotel and we'll talk to the clerk again.
Son, what else can I do for you?
Ask him if he's got a telephone.
Do you have a telephone?
Yeah, we had one.
You mean you don't have one anymore?
We do have the telephone, but it's just not working. I've been waiting for someone to come and fix it for weeks, but nothing so far. Yeah, the technicians come every 3 months to make sure that the control panel is working, but after a few weeks, there's no more dial tone.
So it's not the first time that it's broken?
In the last few years, I've called the technician at least 10 times, and every time he asks for more money. If this weren't a hotel, I'd get rid of it tomorrow.
Where is the control panel?
Oh, I don't have a clue. Must be somewhere outside the building, near the alley entrance.
Okay, that's pretty much all the information you need, so we'll tell him we'll go now.
I don't have anything else to ask you.
Well, if you need me, I'm here.
Guy should learn a bit more about his hotel, to tell you the truth, but let's have a look outside. Alright, so he's headed outside on the wall somewhere, so we could always move our cursor around and probably look right there.
This must be the telephone control panel.
Alrighty, so we can have a look at it now.
Let's have a look.
Interesting. Seems like someone's cut the cable. Let's have a look at it.
This is no breakdown. The cable was cut, and by the look of it, it definitely wasn't an accident. The only way to make the telephone work again is to reattach the wire.
So the technicians are being sneaky here, they're cutting the wire and this guy doesn't know why. So the only thing we can do is look in our inventory and think what can we use. We can't really use the cigarettes or the lockpick or the camera or the money or the keys, but we can try the candy wrapper.
Yes, the candy wrapper should hold it together. Let's hope it works.
Looks good to me. Let's go back inside. Alright, let's talk to the guy again.
Son, what else can I do for you?
Telephone's working now, mate, so call us a cab.
Your telephone should be working now.
Do they also teach you how to repair telephones in your private detective training?
No, just to find out when someone's trying to rip you off. I suggest you call another technician next time. And if you could call me a cab now, I'd be very grateful.
Of course, son.
A night spent under the rain makes even this grubby old cab seem welcoming. The driver is a quiet guy, unlike most drivers who, on a $1 trip, are happy to tell you the story of their life. The only thing he asked was, where to? Essex Street was my only answer. Before going home, I have to return Greta's camera. I disappeared saying I'd get it back to her in a few days. It's been more than a week. The cab turns down Essex Street. Here we are. The trip costs me $2. $1.50 fare plus a 50-cent surcharge for the night rate. Night rate. I hate cab drivers. Good. Greta's place is still open. A sip of whiskey is just what I need to cap off today.
Okay, so here we are. This is, if you want to, I would like to call this one the second chapter section of the game. There are no chapters, there are no levels, but personally I believe that this would be the second section of the game after the first section, which we've completed. And this is where I'm going to be ending the little, if you want to call it, playthrough. So if you like, leave a message at the bottom of this on YouTube and let us know if you want to see more of it. And if you don't, that's fine. But if you do, let me know, and I'll continue on and make a few more. I'll continue on with the walkthrough. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So as I was explaining before, Face Noir I'll pretty much end the recording right now. But Face Noir will be available very, very soon. And it's available. It's been created by Mad Organge and Phoenix Online Studios. So that is pretty much it, everybody. Thank you very much for watching. This is MasterAbbott signing out from CapsuleComputers.com. Thank you very much for watching.